She's gone. The door has closed. The silence is deafening. You're sitting there replaying every moment, wondering what you could have done differently. It feels final, permanent, like a verdict has been handed down, and you've been found wanting. But what if I told you that the story isn't over? What if the most critical chapters are being written right now, in this very silence? You see, a breakup isn't a single event. It's a psychological process. And while you're here feeling the immediate sting, a subtle but powerful shift is about to begin on her side of the equation. Right now, she might be acting like she's moved on, posting the happy pictures, leaning on her friends for support, projecting strength. But deep inside, a battle is brewing. A battle of memory, of emotion, of what-ifs. A battle she wasn't fully expecting. And if you understand this process, if you navigate the next few weeks not with desperation, but with strategy and dignity, you won't just see her come back. You'll position yourself to decide if you even want her back. This isn't about games. This is about understanding human nature and, more importantly, reclaiming your unshakable core. Part 1. The emotional aftershock. Why her relief is temporary. When a woman makes the decision to walk away, her initial emotion is often relief. Relief from the tension, the arguments, the unresolved issues. She's convinced herself this is the right choice. In this phase, she feels strong, validated. She'll surround herself with friends who tell her she's brave, she's strong, she did the right thing. This is why chasing her now is the absolute worst thing you can do. You're trying to connect with someone who is actively pushing away the very emotions you're trying to evoke. But then, something changes. The distractions fade, the late-night texts stop. The constant presence of the person who knew her deepest insecurities and greatest joys, it's gone. And that's when the relief begins to curdle into doubt. This is a crucial psychological pivot point. The human brain is wired to seek comfort in the familiar, even if the familiar was sometimes painful. The silence becomes a canvas onto which her mind starts to project the good memories. The way you made her laugh until she cried. The security she felt in your arms. The private jokes that belonged to no one else. She starts to wonder, did I make a mistake? Why does it feel like something is missing? Why isn't he fighting for me? This isn't about you yet. It's about her confronting the void that the relationship once filled. And this internal conflict is the first crack in the door. Part 2. The power shift. How your inaction becomes your greatest asset right now. She operates from a script she knows. She expects you to chase. She expects the pleading texts, the promises to change, the emotional bids for attention. This expectation gives her a sense of control. But what happens when you break the script? What happens when you simply don't? When you give her exactly what she asked for, space and silence, you do something utterly unpredictable. You remove her source of validation. You force her to sit in the silence of her own decision without the ego boost of your pursuit. This is where the power dynamic begins to invisibly shift. Her confidence, which was propped up by your reaction, starts to waver. She begins to question not just her decision, but her own perceived value in your eyes. Does he not care? Has he already moved on? Was I that easy to forget? This is not about playing mind games. This is about you respecting her decision with a staggering degree of emotional maturity. You are saying, through your actions, I respect your choice. I am going to focus on my own life. That is a powerful, attractive, and deeply unsettling message to receive. It forces her to look at the breakup without the drama, and to see the raw truth. She walked away from a man who had the strength to let her go. Part 3. The evolution, becoming the man she can't ignore. Most men wait. They put their lives on hold, hoping for a text, living in a state of suspended animation. This is the path of neediness, and it is the ultimate repellent. The man who truly changes the game doesn't wait. He evolves. Here's the hard truth. Women don't come back to the man they left. They might feel nostalgia for him, or pity him, but they won't respect him. They come back to a man they admire. A man who has become, in their absence, somehow, more. This phase is not for her. It is for you. Physical reclamation. Hit the gym. Channel the frustration, the confusion, the pain into physical betterment. It builds discipline and self-respect directly. Mental expansion. Read. Learn a new skill. Dive into your work. Reconnect with old friends. Travel. Fill your life with so much purpose and growth that there's simply less room to obsess over her. Emotional mastery. This is the biggest one. Learn to sit with your emotions without being controlled by them. Journal. Meditate. Understand that you are not your feelings. You are the observer of them. When she eventually gets a glimpse of this new version, whether through a mutual friend, a social media post, or a chance encounter, it will shatter her perception of the man she thought she knew. She won't see the guy she left. She'll see a man who is thriving without her. And that will introduce a new powerful emotion, regret. Part 4. The test and the choice. Navigating the return. Then one day it happens. Your phone lights up. It's her. A seemingly casual "Hey, how have you been?" Your heart might race. This is the moment you've been waiting for. But heed this. Do not fall back into old patterns. This breadcrumb is not an apology. It is a test. She's testing the waters to see if the new, evolved you is real, or just an act. She wants to see if you're still the same emotionally available guy who's been waiting in the wings. Your response must be calm, confident, and brief. You are not the dancing monkey who jumps at her command. You are the busy, focused man who acknowledges her message but isn't defined by it. This respectful indifference is magnetic. It will either make her go away for good, which tells you all you need to know, or it will make her efforts intensify. If she does come back seriously, you are now in the position of power. The question is no longer, will she take me back? The question is now, do I want her back? You must evaluate her not on her words, but on her actions. Has she truly reflected? Has she grown? Or is she just lonely and seeking familiar comfort? You hold the power to set the new terms of the relationship, or to walk away knowing you became a better man through the process. Part 5. The ultimate win. It was never about her. But let's be brutally honest. Sometimes she doesn't come back. Sometimes she moves on for good. And you know what? That is still a win. Because this journey was never truly about her. It was about you being forged in fire. It was about you discovering a level of self-respect, discipline, and purpose you might never have found if you hadn't been pushed to the edge. The man you become through this process, the strong, centered, high-value man, is immune to the outcomes of any one relationship. Bullis pulled, new preed bullet. It was pulled, instead, new pulled. He knows his worth is intrinsic. He doesn't beg for a seat at anyone's table. He builds his own. And that man doesn't just attract his ex. He attracts opportunities, respect, and higher quality partners who would never dream of taking him for granted. So win or lose, you win, because you found you. If this resonated with you, if it gave you a new perspective, do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps this message reach more men who need to hear it. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you experienced this? What stage are you in right now? Let's have a real conversation down below. Remember, stay strong, stay focused, and never ever forget that you are the prize.